Some days, life feels like a sudden gust of wind. Small matters become heavy, careless words weigh down the heart, and we walk through our days as if balancing on a thin wire. One shift of direction, and the mind begins to sway. Yet in our most helpless moments, we may realize that it is not hardship itself that exhausts us, but the unrest within our own minds. As Bodhidharma taught, when the mind is agitated, the world appears chaotic. When the mind is clear, the world becomes calm. Life does not grow lighter. Our inner stillness simply allows us to see more clearly. There are those who pass through storms with a quiet peace, like a lake unmoved by wind, not because they feel no pain or fear, but because they choose not to be dragged into anger, anxiety, or despair. They understand that adversity is only the rain, while the mind is the roof. When the roof is strong, no storm can cause collapse. In an age full of uncertainty, fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of losing oneself, the more we cling to fear, the more turbulent life becomes. Calmness, then, is not escape, but a way of facing life with a stronger heart. Many mistake calmness for silence, withdrawal, or emotional suppression, even seeing it as weakness. But in Bodhidharma's teaching, calmness is not a posture. It is an inner state. It is not silence born of fear, but silence born of understanding. The wind may rise, yet the mind does not follow it into chaos. As he taught, all phenomena arise from the mind. When the mind is unsettled, life feels unsettled. When the mind is at ease, life reflects that ease in return. There is a story of a troubled student who asked Bodhidharma for peace of mind. The master replied, "Bring me your restless mind, and I will calm it." The student searched but could not find it. Bodhidharma smiled and said, "If you cannot find it, then it does not truly exist. Knowing this, the mind becomes calm on its own." True calmness comes not from suppression, but from insight, from learning to observe emotions as passing clouds, creating a pause between what happens and how we respond. That pause is wisdom, and within it, peace quietly takes root. Bodhidharma taught that the more hurried the mind becomes, the more easily one loses the way. Calmness, therefore, is not hesitation, but the path that keeps us moving in the right direction. When we look back at moments of anger, panic, or heartbreak, we often see that what made things worse was not the situation itself, but how we responded to it. In those moments, we spoke words we later regretted, acted in ways that caused further damage, and lost the peace we were trying to protect. Had the mind been clear, we might have preserved relationships, work, and inner balance all at once. Calmness is a quiet strength that is difficult to describe. A calm person brings a sense of safety wherever they go. Their presence softens a room. Their words invite openness. They do not compete, yet they are respected. They are not loud, yet others feel supported in their presence. This strength comes from an inner stability, firm like rock, undisturbed by waves, unshaken by the wind. Though many believe calmness is a natural trait, It is in fact a skill, cultivated through patience, awareness, breath, and the discipline of not reacting too quickly. On the path through adversity, calmness is the first step. Only when the mind is steady can we see the road clearly, and only when the road is clear can we choose the right direction. Adversity appears in many forms: unexpected loss, broken relationships, financial hardship, or words that wound the heart. Yet Bodhidharma reminded us that suffering is not measured by the weight of events, but by the stability of the mind facing them. The same rain can feel refreshing to one person and burdensome to another. The same failure can become either a defeat or a beginning. Bodhidharma once said, "It is not life that binds you in suffering, but the way you see it." When we believe pain comes solely from the outside, we struggle endlessly to change circumstances. But when we understand that suffering arises from attachment to expectations, praise, people, or the self, we begin the work of transformation within. Life is impermanent by nature, meeting and parting, gain and loss, rise and fall. When we accept this truth, the heart loosens its grip, and even in the midst of change, calmness becomes our refuge. Bodhidharma taught that adversity is not meant to break us, but to illuminate us. It is a lesson, a shift in conditions, revealing where the mind is still fragile, still attached, still unclear. When asked how to know whether suffering comes from life or from the mind, he replied, "If circumstances change and you remain at peace, suffering comes from life. If circumstances remain the same and you are still restless, suffering comes from the mind." These few words sink deep, reminding us that while many outer events lie beyond our control, most of our pain arises from how we interpret them. An event itself is fleeting, but the mind often keeps replaying it. A harsh word lasts only seconds, yet we carry it for weeks. Disappointment hurts not because of others, but because of the expectations we place upon them. External adversity is only a spark. The mind is the dry wood. Without excessive expectation, pride, or attachment to the self, the spark quickly fades. What appears to be suffering caused by life is often rooted in an unhealed inner state. Old wounds, unmet self-compassion, or the absence of inner stability. Bodhidharma taught that the mind is the root, while body and circumstances are merely branches. When the root is steady, life's winds pass through like a breeze among leaves. When the mind is unsettled, even small matters can bring collapse. Suffering begins the moment a thought arises and goes unchecked. To awaken to a single thought is to dissolve a portion of suffering. Most human mistakes are made in the first seconds after the mind is disturbed, through hurried words, impulsive actions, or emotions left unobserved. The practice Bodhidharma offered is simple yet powerful. Pause, observe, then respond. Not to suppress emotion, but to understand it. Not to escape, but to create space. Like a still lake disturbed by a stone, the water clears if left untouched. So too with the mind, given a moment of stillness, emotions settle on their own. A single deep breath can prevent conflict. A brief silence can save a relationship. A few seconds of awareness can avert a costly mistake. Calmness begins by slowing down just one step, and the doorway to that pause is always the breath. Bodhidharma taught that returning to the breath is returning to oneself. A deep inhale naturally brings the mind to a pause. A slow exhale gently settles it. The breath becomes an anchor, holding the inner boat steady amid emotional waves. When something unsettles the heart, an insult, a sudden event, troubling news, do not respond immediately. Pause. Breathe in deeply, hold for a moment, then release slowly. Even 3 conscious breaths can pull the mind back from the edge of impulsive reaction. When we pause, we begin to see that emotions are like passing clouds. Anger comes and goes. Fear comes and goes. Pain comes and goes. They are not who we are unless we cling to them and give them power. To pause is to reclaim mastery over the mind. In stillness, many things reveal themselves. What seemed like an insult may be a misunderstanding. What felt like injustice may be a simple mistake. What appeared as loss may turn out to be a necessary transition. The more hurried and reactive we are, the more easily we go astray. When the mind slows down, wisdom naturally appears. Many believe calmness is passive, but in truth, it is the highest form of action. It is the conscious choice to respond rather than be dragged along by raw reaction. A calm person carries great inner strength. They do not need to raise their voice, prove themselves, or compete. Their steadiness speaks for itself. Adversity is unavoidable, but how we respond is always within our control. To pause before reacting is to overcome oneself, and conquering one's own impulsiveness is the greatest victory in life. Bodhidharma emphasized contemplation not as overthinking, but as seeing clearly. To observe things as they are, without adding assumptions, fears, or emotional distortions. The mind, he said, is like a mirror. When dust settles on it, clarity fades. When the dust is wiped away, it shines again. Emotions are like ripples on water. When the water is stirred, vision is distorted. When it becomes still, everything is seen as it truly is. Life itself is simple. Only the restless mind makes it complicated. The ancients said that wisdom begins with awareness. Each time we pause to reflect, asking ourselves whether our view is true, whether we are projecting, whether we are seeing through joy or sorrow, we step out of confusion and move closer to wisdom. Reflection dissolves pointless arguments, for we begin to understand that everyone sees the world through their own lens, shaped by past experiences and temperament. It is not that one is right and the other wrong. We are simply standing at different angles. When this is understood, the need to win disappears and the mind grows clearer. Reflection also teaches us to be gentle with ourselves. We stop blaming and judging ourselves so harshly for our mistakes. When we look deeply, we see that every fault has its roots, and roots can be healed. We no longer define ourselves by moments of weakness, but view our entire journey with compassion. The heart grows lighter. Reflection becomes an art of living, a key to remaining peaceful amid life's turbulence. When we see clearly, we live rightly, and adversity loses its power to overthrow us. Among all that people lose during hardship, words are lost the fastest and leave the deepest scars. A careless sentence spoken in anger can fracture years of trust. A desperate remark can wound those we love. Bodhidharma taught that guarding one's speech is guarding one's blessings, for speech reflects the state of the mind. In turbulent moments, silence can be wisdom, while speaking can become suffering. Words, once released, are like arrows. They cannot be taken back. True silence, however, is not suppression. It is a conscious pause, a moment to ask whether speaking will bring clarity or create harm. Those who are calm understand that some arguments hold no real value. Winning them brings no honor. Losing them causes no loss. When misunderstood or falsely judged, Bodhidharma reminded us that truth needs no defense. Time will speak on our behalf. To rush to explain is often to surrender our power, while steady action and integrity allow truth to reveal itself naturally. Life constantly sways the unsteady heart. Praise brings joy, criticism brings pain. Gain creates confidence, loss breeds fear. Like a small boat on a vast sea, many drift wherever the wind blows. Bodhidharma taught that circumstances are only powerful when the mind is weak. When the mind is grounded, the world's turbulence becomes nothing more than passing wind. True calmness is not withdrawal from life, but the strength to move through it without handing one's peace to forces that are impermanent and beyond control. Bodhidharma once said, "A great wind cannot move a mountain. The words of the world cannot disturb one who understands the way." This is not merely advice, but a way of living. A grounded person does not allow others' emotions, praise or criticism to steer the mind, nor do the shifts of life steal inner peace. Much of our suffering comes from leaning too heavily on external conditions to define our worth. Yet the outer world is impermanent. People change, circumstances shift, times move on. When we anchor our hearts to what constantly changes, our peace rises and falls with it. Calmness, as Bodhidharma taught, is not coldness or indifference. It is the wisdom of placing one's heart where it truly belongs, within, not in the hands of others. When asked how to avoid being hurt by criticism, he replied, "If there is no place for harm in your mind, criticism has nowhere to land." External words can shake us only when there are inner gaps, self-doubt, lack of self-understanding, or an unsteady heart. When the mind is firm, no wind can tilt it. When awareness is bright, another's darkness cannot dim it. One of Bodhidharma's core teachings is not to rest the mind on what is uncertain. Praise and blame are merely reflections of another person's perspective, not absolute truth. A calm person observes without attachment. Another's anger is not taken as one's own. Another's departure is not seen as life's collapse. Praise does not inflate the ego. Criticism does not diminish worth. Such a person walks by an inner compass, wisdom, clarity and self-knowing, rather than being dragged by passing emotions. At the heart of these teachings lies a profound truth. Life is impermanent, and only a mind that moves with impermanence is free from suffering. Everything changes: relationships, work, health, even those we love most. Pain does not arise from loss itself, but from resisting what has already changed. As Bodhidharma said, suffering is not in losing, but in refusing to accept that something has been lost. Impermanence, however, also carries quiet beauty. Because nothing lasts forever, we learn to cherish the present. We love more deeply because time is limited. We live more fully because youth fades. We care for the body because health is fragile. If everything were permanent, nothing would be precious. To accept impermanence is not to grow cold, but to live lightly, smiling at what cannot be held, standing rooted within while the winds of life pass by. Bodhidharma taught, "Nothing in this world truly belongs to you. Everything is only on loan. When conditions arise, you hold. When conditions fade, you let go." Accepting this truth lessens suffering, not because we love less, but because we love with understanding, knowing that all things have an ending. Pain is natural, but suffering is created by clinging. Pain is an emotion. Suffering is a choice. Pain passes, but suffering lingers as long as we hold on. Those who are calm do not avoid hardship. They ask what it is here to teach them. Sometimes adversity teaches us to release what we have held too tightly. Sometimes it invites us to look inward, to grow stronger, or to step away from a path that was never meant for us. When we accept change, the heart loosens its grip. Nothing is forced to last forever, and in that acceptance, the mind grows light. There is a quiet image in meditation, a person standing by a river, watching the water flow. Leaves, flowers, soil all passing by. The observer does not try to grasp the water, does not grieve what drifts away, nor cling to what appears beautiful. Life, too, is a flowing river. When we accept impermanence, suffering finds no place to settle, and the heart becomes as light and open as clouds as moving freely across a vast sky. Some of life's deepest wounds do not come from accidents or hardship, but from betrayal by those we once trusted most. Betrayal shakes the heart not only because of what others do, but because of the emotional storms it awakens within us. Bodhidharma taught that those who hurt us are only outer conditions. How deeply we suffer is determined by the state of our own mind. This does not deny the pain of betrayal. It reminds us that its destructive power depends on how we face it. The first response to betrayal is often shock, followed by anger. If we are not mindful, that anger can consume us. We speak harshly, act impulsively, seek revenge, only to deepen our wounds. The calm person is not someone who feels no pain. They feel it fully, sometimes more deeply than others. Yet they do not allow pain to dictate their actions. They observe their emotions as one stands on a riverbank, watching turbulent water flow without being swept away. Bodhidharma taught that betrayal is not a test of others, but a test of our own inner attachments. It It reveals where we placed excessive trust, unrealistic expectations, or handed our emotional power to someone else. Often, the pain of betrayal comes less from the act itself than from the hopes we invested. A calm person understands that another's betrayal does not define their worth. The one who betrays loses integrity. The one who remains steady preserves their inner blessing. In moments of betrayal, the most important thing is not confrontation or immediate justice, but protecting the peace that still remains within. To let anger rule is to become a lesser version of oneself. Bodhidharma taught it that betrayal creates karma for the betrayer, while calmness preserves virtue for the one betrayed. True strength lies in clarity, restraint, and dignity, seeing the truth without distortion, refusing to decide from anger, and knowing when to walk away in quiet self-respect. Losses in life, of money, work, reputation, or status, can silently erode confidence and hope. Yet Bodhidharma taught that losing external things is only a trial. Losing inner peace is the real defeat. What can be lost was never truly us. Wealth can return, work can change, honor can heal with time. But if we lose our steadiness, courage, and trust in ourselves, we lose everything. Those who remain calm through loss rise again, not because life spared them, but because they never surrendered their inner ground. Time can soften wounds, but it can also reveal the true quality of a person. Bodhidharma taught that in moments of loss, the first thing we must protect is clarity. Do not let panic take control. Do not allow fear to exaggerate reality, and do not let a wounded ego drive unwise actions. The calm person understands that no loss is ever the end. Losing money may teach wisdom in managing resources. Losing a job may open a more suitable path. Losing reputation may teach humility and careful conduct. Every loss carries a message, and only in stillness can that message be heard. Sometimes loss is life's way of helping us release what no longer serves us. An outdated role, a relationship built on appearances, an inflated sense of self, or illusions about who we are. The more tightly we cling to what has passed, the deeper the pain when it leaves. Those who understand impermanence move more lightly through change, knowing that everything is temporary. There is a kind of wealth that can never be taken: inner peace, steadiness, kindness, and understanding. There is a form of honor no one can destroy. Honor built through character and action, not the words of others. Those who remain calm do not fear loss, because they know loss is simply life changing its form. When one door closes, another opens. When something leaves, something else arrives. What matters most is not losing oneself in the process. Looking back, those who rise strongest after loss are not the richest or the most talented, but the most composed. Calmness brings clarity. Clarity reveals direction, and direction leads one out of darkness. There are seasons in life when everything seems to collapse at once. Family troubles, work pressure, financial strain, emotional fractures. We try to endure, to appear strong, yet inside we are exhausted. Bodhidharma taught that when the mind is in chaos, return to the breath. When the breath settles, the mind awakens. Breath is the quiet bridge between body and mind. By observing it, we see our inner state. By slowing it, we restore balance. When attention rests on each inhale and exhale, confusion loosens its grip and calm naturally returns. A clear and awakened mind leads to wise action, and wisdom opens new paths. Bodhidharma taught that as long as there is breath, there is hope. As long as the mind remains, a way forward still exists. When life pushes us to the edge, we do not need to solve everything at once. We only need to return to the breath. Inhale deeply, pause gently, exhale slowly, and repeat. Each breath cleanses the mind. Each breath pulls us back from the brink. No rituals are required, no sacred words to memorize, only breathing. Simple, yet it is the foundation of peace. In the darkest moments, the breath becomes a small lamp showing the next step. When attention rests on breathing, the past loses its grip and the future its threats. We return to the present, and the present is always the safest place. Calm people are not free from hardship. They simply know how to return to the breath the moment the mind begins to tangle. For them, the breath is an anchor in the storm, a small boat guiding them back to shore, a doorway into inner stillness. Everyone reaches a breaking point at some time in life. But when that moment arrives, the mindful do not panic. They place a hand on the chest, feel the heartbeat, feel the breath coming in and going out, and slowly rise again. One who can regulate the breath can also steady life itself. Looking back at moments that once seemed impossible to survive, we realize we were saved not by force, but by stillness. And that stillness begins with the breath, small, yet strong enough to keep a life from collapsing. Often, what exhausts us most is not poverty or failure, but criticism, judgmental eyes, and misunderstandings that appear without warning. We live kindly, yet are misunderstood. We try our best, yet are looked down upon. We remain silent and are called weak. Words are invisible, yet they can shake a fragile mind. Bodhidharma taught that both praise and blame belong to the mouths of others. The world's voice is not dangerous, an unsteady mind is. Pain does not come from what is said, but from how we receive it. There is an old Zen story of a monk falsely accused by villagers. He was insulted and rejected, yet he never defended himself. When asked why, he replied, "Their mouths speak, my heart knows." When the truth later emerged and praise replaced blame, he remained unchanged. "Their praise is also their mouth," he said. "How I live is known by my own mind." This is the calm Bodhidharma pointed to. Words do not take away our worth. Only the ego is wounded. If we live to please others, we will be exhausted. If we let their voices rule our minds, we will never be free. A truly authentic person shines naturally without the need to defend themselves. Being misunderstood does not require a reaction. Silence is not weakness, but a way to keep the mind unshaken by chaos. When faced with criticism, not reacting is not cowardice. It is understanding that their words belong to them, not to you. When judgment does not stir anger, it is not indifference, but the awareness that your worth is not measured by the opinions of others. Calmness before empty words allows one to live without explaining to those unwilling to understand, without wasting sorrow on the undeserving, and without bending to please everyone. What matters is not what others say, but how you live, because the mind is the root, and the voices of the world are merely passing clouds. Some wounds come not from strangers, but from those we hold closest. A love that has faded, a friendship tinged with envy, a relative who brings more pain than peace. These can drain us even as we hesitate to let go. The true suffering does not come from others, but from holding too tightly what no longer belongs to us. A toxic relationship is like a rope tightening around the wrist. The harder you pull, the deeper the pain. Only by opening your hand can you return to ease. Many cling not out of love, but out of fear. Fear of loneliness, fear of starting over, fear of failing, fear of judgment. Some remain in draining bonds because they cannot bear the emptiness after letting go. Some hope another will change. Some endure year after year for warmth that has long vanished. Yet holding on to someone who no longer wishes to stay is self-inflicted suffering. Letting go is not giving up. Letting go is understanding. Letting go is knowing that not everything can be held with effort. Letting go is a courageous act of maturity, choosing inner peace over stubborn attachment. Bodhidharma teaches that no one truly belongs to anyone. Life brings people together by fate and separates them by karma. No one can stay by your side forever, and no one can give you happiness if you do not first hold it within yourself. Toxic relationships do not destroy us on their own. They only harm when we linger too long. Leaving someone who disrespects us is self-respect. Leaving someone who unsettles our mind is a practice. Walking away from those who diminish us is a way to preserve wisdom. True calmness is not rigidity, but the knowing of one's limits. One does not force others to fit one's life. One simply steps back, valuing inner peace over attachment. Some truths are inevitable. No one is so important that we must lose ourselves to keep them. A true companion will not drain your heart and mind. They will help you grow, feel safer, and see more clearly. Those who disrupt your life are lessons, not destinations. Some departures are not losses, but liberations. Letting go may hurt today, but it preserves your peace tomorrow. A calm mind sees clearly who should stay and who should leave. When the mind is noisy, we confuse habit with love, attachment with care, hope with illusion. When the mind is clear, we discern the nature of each relationship and choose those who bring peace rather than turbulence. The greatest wisdom in relationships is not finding the right person, but not holding the wrong one. And the most important lesson is to love rightly, beginning with oneself. Among all relationships, family can be both the warmest and the most wounding. We can ignore outsiders' words, Yet a careless remark from a parent, spouse, or child can pierce deeply. Love and expectation make the wounds sharper. Home should nurture peace, but without wisdom, love can become a binding, and care without calm can hurt. Everyone experiences moments of fatigue, irritation, or miscommunication. A husband returns weary and speaks harshly. A wife exhausted and irritable. A child burdened with school pressure retreats in silence. Elderly parents fear neglect. Without calm, small slips can widen into deep rifts. True wisdom in family life lies in patience, understanding, and the quiet cultivation of peace, so that love does not become a source of harm. Our mind is like a still lake. When the water ripples, even the clearest reflection of the sky becomes distorted. When the mind is unsettled, words of love can feel like blame. Families do not need perfection. They need hearts that pause before speaking, listen before reacting, and see beyond their own pain. Bodhidharma teaches, if you have wisdom, do not ask who is wrong. Ask yourself why your mind is stirred. By asking this, anger softens, and we stop seeing loved ones as opponents, seeing instead fellow travelers navigating their own struggles. In family life, it is not about who is right or wrong, but who can remain calm to preserve harmony. Calmness is not enduring blindly, it is understanding, seeing that harsh words or small frustrations are fleeting, and that differences in expression are only different ways of loving. Not everyone can express their heart. Parents may not say, "I miss you," but ask gently about meals. A wife may not say, "I am tired," but voice subtle frustrations. A husband may not say, "I am pressured," yet remain silent at dinner. Children may not say, "I am hurt," yet react sharply. All of these are attempts of hearts still learning to speak. One who keeps a calm mind in the family preserves peace for everyone. They do not react to every prickly word, nor return harm for harm. They know that sometimes a pause, a deep breath, or a quiet smile transforms large troubles into small ones, and small ones into nothing at all. Humbling oneself at home is not weakness, it is wisdom. Speaking gently is not submission, it is love. Choosing perspective over ego is not lessening oneself, it is valuing family above winning. Being calm within family is not about proving oneself, but about healing. It is not about winning arguments, but loving rightly. It is not about blaming, but growing together. The stormier the home, the more the heart needs peace. The louder the voices, the more the mind must settle. The more vulnerable the family, the deeper the understanding required. When we love without pain, understand without judgment, and remain present without distance, family becomes a true sanctuary, a place to return to, intact and unburdened, no matter the storms outside. Bodhidharma teaches that those who do not understand themselves fear being alone. Those who do understand fear losing themselves amidst the crowd. Solitude is a lesson everyone must face, though not all can learn it. True calm comes from sitting with oneself, observing deeply and embracing silence as a teacher and stillness as a gift, allowing us to meet our own mind with clarity and peace. Bodhidharma teaches that those who can sit alone truly understand the roots of the mind. Alone, the noise of others fades, masks fall away, and roles dissolve. We return to our truest selves, seeing clearly why we are sad, angry, or yearning. Much of the suffering we carry is not caused by others, but by our own inability to face it with awareness. Solitude also teaches that no one can be our ultimate refuge. People come and go, lovers may leave, children grow independent, friends attend to their own lives. In the end, the one who stays with us the longest is ourselves. Those who are calm love without clinging, need without dependency, and choose their companions wisely, understanding that inner stability, not the presence of others, brings true peace. Being alone allows us to start anew. In silence, we hear the call of our own life, where we want to go, who we want to become, how we want to live. Many find their brightest light in the quietest, darkest moments. Courage is not having someone beside you, but not fearing solitude. Strength is not in avoiding tears, but in learning to wipe them away for oneself. Calmness transforms pain into lessons and loneliness into growth. To sit alone without feeling lonely is to cultivate clarity, wisdom, and self-love, preparing us to enter relationships from a place of strength and understanding, not neediness. In moments of tension, our instincts push for immediate reaction, to retaliate, to explain, to defend. The mind becomes like a pond struck by a stone, churned and unclear. Bodhidharma teaches that when the mind is stirred, silence is the power. Silence is not weakness, it is mastery. Those who cannot control their emotions speak endlessly. Those who control their mind speak only when necessary. A Zen story tells of a monk falsely accused of stealing a precious object. The community demanded he defend himself, yet he smiled in silence. When the item was found, proving his innocence, he still spoke nothing. When asked why, he said, "I am silent not for them, but for my own mind." Silence creates the space to observe emotions, letting anger, grief, or panic settle. In this calm, wisdom emerges, and we respond with control rather than reaction, shaping our lives rather than being shaped by the world. Bodhidharma teaches that silence is the shield of wisdom. Those who master silence have conquered themselves. Not every battle requires words. Some victories come simply by saying nothing, taking a deep breath, and stepping back. Silence helps us recognize where our energy truly belongs. Jealousy, provocation, and baseless rumors are unworthy of our attention. Often, the calmness of our response is the strongest reply. The wise do not fight with words, but with composure, speaking only when it builds, not merely to defend the ego. Silence becomes a mirror, reflecting both our nature and that of others. When we remain still, the true character of those around us is revealed. Kindness reveals itself, malice exposes itself, and intelligence knows when to pause. By holding our ground and observing, we protect our minds from being drawn into the storms of others. Our mind is like the vast sky. Dark clouds are merely passing guests. In life, exhaustion rarely comes from hardship itself, but from our hasty reactions. A harsh word alone does not break us. It is the torrent of thoughts and projections that follow which stirs suffering. Every uncontrolled emotion is the root of pain, and a single mindful moment can prevent an entire storm from forming. Most mistakes happen in the first moments after the mind is disturbed. A rash word can shatter a long-standing relationship. A hasty action can undo years of effort. A small trigger can awaken old wounds. But a single mindful breath, a pause, an observation, these can prevent disaster. Bodhidharma teaches that facing emotional turbulence is simple yet powerful. Stop, observe, then respond. Stopping is not suppressing, but understanding. Not fleeing, but seeing clearly. Not silence out of fear, but creating space where the mind is free from emotional sway, able to perceive with clarity. Imagine the mind as a lake. A stone disturbs the water, creating ripples. Stirring only deepens the turbulence, but leaving it still allows the water to settle. So it is with our emotions. Pause, breathe, observe, and they naturally calm. One deep breath can save an argument. 1 minute of silence can preserve a relationship. 10 seconds of awareness can prevent a disastrous decision. Tranquility begins with slowing down, even for a moment, giving the mind a chance to reset. True mastery is not in controlling the world, but in mastering oneself. Silence is not weakness, it is strength. Pause, observe, breathe, and respond from clarity. In this calm, wisdom flourishes, decisions become sound, and the storms of life lose their power over us. In the stillness, we find freedom.